Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. So I'm here today with part 2 of my Media-Cation haul, which is also doubling as my thrift store haul number 9, I believe. And so this is going to be some things I picked up from the thrift store while I was on vacation. So there was a part 1, which was half-price books. This is going to be part 2, which is half of the items I grabbed from a thrift store. And then there's going to be another half-price books and another thrift store haul to cover everything that I ended up grabbing while I was on vacation last month. So I just had an awesome vacation, and it was so media heavy. That's why I ended up calling it my Media-Cation. So yeah, like I said, this is part 2 of 4, and it doubles as the 9th thrift store haul in that series as well. So while I was on vacation, I mentioned in part 1, we went to Otherworld Museum in Columbus, Ohio, which I thought was just fantastic. I loved it. My family loved it. And then right across the street from that was actually a not only a Goodwill location, but right next to it was a Goodwill outlet location, which I'd always seen in like YouTubers' videos, but I've never actually been to one or even seen one in person before. So I was super excited to check it out. So of course we went to the standard Goodwill location, found a bunch of stuff there, and then went next door to Goodwill outlet, where I paid like, I don't know, pennies for these things. It was ridiculous. So if you don't know, the Goodwill outlet essentially collects everything that the Goodwills in the area can't sell. They end up dumping them into these giant bins, and then you're sifting through all these bins to find anything that looks interesting to you. And nothing is like a set price. It's all paid by the pound. It's very outlet. Basically, the next stop is just it's trashed at that point. And so, yeah, it's basically trying to make a buck off of it if they can. And so that's where we ended up finding some things too. And it was really cool just because I'd never been there before. So yeah, I have a bunch of things here to talk about today, guys. I have I actually have a CD. I got some books, some VHS tapes, and then some Blu-rays to talk about. So yeah, I'm really excited to share with you guys everything I picked up from the thrift store while I was on vacation. So let's do it. If you guys do enjoy this video, please give it a like down below. It really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive in to part 2 of my Media-Cation haul, which is also part 9 of my thrift store hauls. I'll try to point out as I go which one was an outlet haul and which one was the standard Goodwill, but this one was an outlet haul, so I paid very little for this, but it was the Beatles 1. And so what this is actually 27 different #1 singles from the Beatles. So I thought this was really cool. It's in very good shape, especially for being in one of the bins at the outlet location. The disc itself is in perfect shape, so that's cool. The booklet here is actually pretty cool because for all 27 songs, it has the album that it was on and all of the covers, like different record album covers on it, which I think is pretty darn cool. So yeah, this was a really cool find. I've always heard of this CD. I never owned it before, but to be fair, most of my music I do off of Apple Music anyway, or I have I have a very decent vinyl collection as well. And so I do have quite a number of Beatles albums on vinyl. And frankly, I don't love listening to like singles back to back. I really think like there is an art to creating an album. And so I really like listening to complete albums more so than singles, but still, this was super cheap. So I figured I would add it to the collection. And there's just some incredible songs on there. Love Me Do, Hello Goodbye, Eleanor Rigby, Yellow Submarine. Like, it's just some of the best of the Beatles. So, I'm a huge Beatles fan. My father is as well. He kind of got me into them. So yeah, love the Beatles. Thought this was a really cool ad for as cheap as it was. So this was the first one I ended up grabbing from the outlet location, and the only music I have in this haul. These 3 books were ones I ended up grabbing from the standard Goodwill store, and I'll mention right up front that the Goodwill prices are so much more than the prices I get at my local thrift stores. Typically, like Salvation Army is 2 for $1. Here, these are about $1 each for the paperbacks, and I think $2 for a hardcover. But yeah, so I didn't get nearly as many as I would have if they were 2 for $1, but that's okay. I still got quite a bit. But anyway, these are 3 books in the Creepover series. I think it actually says You're Invited to a Creepover. So I've never read this series, which is written by P.J. Knight, but I ended up grabbing these 3 books. This is spine number 21, which is called Don't Move a Muscle. This one doesn't have a spine number on it, so I don't remember what that is, but this is Ready for a Scare. And then finally, Your Worst Nightmare, which is spine number 17. So I've seen these in the past, but for whatever reason, when I saw the three of them together, I figured, man, this would be a good time. Let's check these out and see how they are. This is going to be a middle grade series, much in the vein of something like Goosebumps, which you guys know I love. So yeah, very intrigued to check these out. Never really heard anything about these at all over the years, but there's quite a few in the series, so hopefully they will be pretty decent. So 3 books in the Creepover series. So now I have 3 that I can check out to see if it's any good or not. So Don't Move a Muscle. No, that one is Your Worst Nightmare, Don't Move a Muscle, and Ready for a Scare. Man, oh man. Yeah, so very intrigued to see what these ones are all about. The last book I grabbed from the Goodwill proper was this hardcover book here that I was so excited to find. This is I Am C-3PO, the inside story written by Anthony Daniels. So, and it also has a foreword by J.J. Abrams, which is pretty fun. But yeah, so this, of course, is the actor who played C-3PO in Star Wars films. And I am so excited that I was able to find this because this was a book that I found out about recently when I was searching through some audiobooks. This one came up, and so I was like, oh man, I really want to check that out, see if it's any good or not. And I've heard really good reviews on it, or read really good reviews on it. And so yeah, this is one that I am thrilled to add to my collection. So definitely going to check this one out at some point soon here. So I Am C-3PO, the inside story written by Anthony Daniels, a really cool hardcover biography for my collection. Probably the coolest find for me from the outlet location, because these next two, I have 2 more books, and both of these are from the outlet store, but I ended up finding not only a Goosebumps book, but a Slappy book. So this is Goosebumps Horrorland Slappy New Year. So this is number 18 in the Horrorland series, and you guys know I love Slappy. I talk about him on the channel. My buddy just got me a poster. Like, I love Slappy. I love Goosebumps. I'm actually doing like a summer of Slappy. It kind of just happened. I just finished Bride of the Living Dummy, which would be like the 4th book in the series, at least as I'm calling it. And I just started a few minutes before filming this. I just started, Slappy's Nightmare. And so I'm about 20% into that one. So I'm continuing through where Slappy is the main character. So eventually I will get to this one. So this one will be read hopefully this summer. We'll see how far I can get. But yeah, very excited that I was able to find this. And this is in excellent shape. Like, for, finding it at the outlet store, I mean, you can see there's a tiny bit of, page wrinkling there, but it's so minor that it doesn't even matter. So I found this for pennies on the dollar. It was ridiculous. So Goosebumps Horrorland, Slappy New Year by R.L. Stine, one of my favorite finds from this entire haul. The last book that I grabbed was also from the outlet location, and this is what I expect condition-wise for the outlet. You can see like the back cover's torn here, but that's okay because this is totally readable on the inside. And this is Star Trek Invasion. So this is actually 4 novels. You can see all of the authors listed there, but there are 4 novels here, 4 complete novels from the Star Trek universe, and they're all from the Invasion storyline, I guess. So there is Star Trek First Strike, Star Trek The Next Generation, The Soldiers of Fear, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Time's Enemy, and Star Trek Voyager The Final Fury. So yeah, this is crazy. So this spans, I just didn't even realize that, and I've had this book in my collection now for a month, but it spans all 4 series of Star Trek, which is super cool. So this should be really interesting. I am very intrigued to check this one out. I've heard I read really positive reviews about the Invasion line, so I'm hoping I enjoy this. Now, like, this is a crazy copy of this, but it's totally readable. The font is a good size. It's super floppy, which is always fun. And yeah, so yeah, I think this is one that I would actually read the physical version of as opposed to getting it on audiobook or something. But yeah, so really cool to find this just randomly. Now again, yeah, the cover's ripped, but it's okay. Doesn't affect the material on the inside, so I'm happy to have it. Star Trek Invasion is the last book I ended up grabbing. So let's move over to some movies. We're going to start with VHS, and then we'll work down to Blu-ray. So I haven't really been picking up a ton of VHS tapes recently, but these ones were so cheap at the outlet location, and they're pretty unique. Like this one I'd never even heard of before, but it has an amazing cast. So this is called Going Berserk, and this has John Candy, Joe Flaherty, and Eugene Levy in this. So I think this is, yeah, so from the stars of the Emmy-winning SCTV comedy troupe, headline this off-the-wall comedy which lampoons everything from religious cults to kung fu movies to Father Knows Best, complete with a cameo by the show's original princess, Eleanor Donahue. So it's directed by David Steinberg. So I don't know anything about this other than it looked really interesting. So yeah, awesome cast on there. And this might be really popular. I just never heard of it for whatever reason. But yeah, I had to grab it just because it was super intriguing to me. The tape looks totally fine, so that's always good. As you can see there. So yeah, I don't know. This looked like an interesting kind of oddity to have on VHS. And for how cheap it was, I figured, yeah, why not pick it up, see what it's all about. So my first VHS tape, going Berserk. Next up is one that is available on Blu-ray from Kino Lorber, I believe, released this. But this is a VHS tape from the Bob Hope Tribute Collection. This is The Ghost Breakers. So you have Bob Hope in here and Paulette Goddard, or Goddard, however you say that. But yeah, this one is a kind of lighthearted ghost story is what I understand it to be. But I've heard pretty good things about it from Serial at Midnight, I think, talked about it in one of his Kino Lorber videos. So yeah, very intrigued to check it out. Obviously, if I like it, I will upgrade to the Blu-ray, but for the time being, I have it on VHS, so if I do want to check it out before I upgrade, I can definitely do that. So The Ghost Breakers with Bob Hart, a pretty cool one for the VHS collection. The last VHS tape I grabbed is actually a Disney one, and I have no idea how I'd never heard of this or seen it or even owned it when I was younger, but this is Ducktales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. And it actually is, according to the back here, the first full-length feature film starring Scrooge McDuck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So I don't know. I'm very intrigued to check this one out. Like I said, I don't know how I didn't see this because I loved these characters when I was younger. I had so many Disney VHS tapes. I don't know how this one escaped me, but yeah, very happy to have this one. You can see the VHS or the clamshell box is not in the best shape, but that's okay. Again, not looking for resale value, just looking to watch it. So this one should be awesome. Cannot wait to check this one out. DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. And that's the last VHS tape I grabbed. So now let's talk about my Blu-rays I ended up finding. I am really surprised how many Blu-rays I ended up finding while I was down in Ohio because, so not only are there some things from Goodwill Outlet in this haul video I'm doing today, but there were also some things from like a thrift store that was located across the street from the hotel we happened to be staying at. So of course I had to hit that one up, and that's where I found all but the first Blu-ray here I'm going to talk about. So it was just a really good location, and they were like $2 a pop for Blu-ray. So it was a really good deal. But this first one here was much cheaper than that. I actually found this at the outlet, Goodwill Outlet, so super cheap. And it is complete in perfect shape. This is The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. So now it's not normally a movie I would end up picking up, but because I was getting it for ridiculously cheap, I ended up grabbing it. When is this one from? I want to say like 2013, somewhere in there. Of course, now when I'm looking for it, I'm not going to find it. 2012, it looks like, so I wasn't too far off. But yeah, this is a comedy drama of sorts. I don't know, definitely aimed at a different audience than myself, but I'll still probably give it a shot at some point to see if it's any good or not. So The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, and I know there is a sequel to this as well, so if I end up watching this and liking it, then I'll obviously have to add the sequel to my collection. But yeah, should be decent. Has a really good cast. Judi Dench, Dev Patel, Maggie Smith, Tom Wilkinson. Like, it's a good cast, so it's probably a very decent movie, so we'll check that out eventually. The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel from 2012. Next up is one that falls into the similar vein as this one, where it's not one I ever really saw myself picking up, but hey, when you're finding $2 Blu-rays and you're on vacation, you just pick things up. So this is Mamma Mia, the movie. And I believe this one was from 2008. So this is another one with a sequel. So if I end up liking this, then I'll get the sequel. But, so yeah, this is a musical, and I am a musical fan. I always say that I love musicals, but I don't know, for whatever reason, this one never really struck my fancy. Never was anything I really wanted to watch, but hey, it's in the collection now, so I probably should watch it at some point. Of course, music by ABBA, who is a very popular band. So we'll see if this one's any good or not. Mamma Mia, the movie, another for the musical collection. This next one is one that I remember the opening scene vividly, but I don't know if I ended up watching the entire movie or not. I know I was at my uncle's and he kept replaying that opening scene because it is jarring to say the least. But this is The Blind Side from 2009 with Sandra Bullock. This is the story of Michael O'Hare. Sandra Bullock's character kind of takes him under her wing. She is a wealthy person and he is struggling, and so ends up developing him into this incredible football player. So it's that true story, and it's really well told. I enjoyed what I've seen of it. I don't remember if I watched the entire thing or not, because the opening scene again is what sticks with you, because they show this injury that is like real footage of the injury, and it's nasty. So anyway, this is a good movie from what I have seen of it or remember about it, so I'm definitely going to check this one out again. The Blind Side from 2009. I ended up finding a recent Arnold Schwarzenegger action vehicle. This is The Last Stand, and this one has to be from like 2012. Yeah, 2012. So this is one that I remember, from when I worked at Family Video. This came out, and it was really popular. I never ended up watching it though, and so I figured I would grab it and see if it's any good or not. It is just going to be a typical action movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the sheriff of this small, sleepy town, and then there is this like drug cartel that's trying to escape the law, and he is going to be the last stand, the last thing keeping the drug cartel from freedom, basically. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be just goofy, but it'll probably be pretty fun. I've actually heard pretty decent things about it for what it is, so I figured for $2, yeah, we'll give it a shot on Blu-ray. So The Last Stand from 2012. I'm really excited about these two because I had them in my hand at Disc Replay before I went on vacation, but I ended up putting them back and grabbing something else. And then lo and behold, I found both of these for much cheaper than at Disc Replay. We have Expendables 2 and Expendables 3. So I do have the first one over there in my action section, so I just needed the other two to complete it. And now I have all of them, so I'm very happy. It was very cheap to complete this series, which is always cool to me. Now, honestly, I've never even seen any of the Expendables movies, but I've just been in kind of a big dumb action mood lately, and so that's why I decided I wanted to add these to the collection. So I would really love to do like a rank and review video on this series because I think it would be a fun one to watch through and talk about, but hopefully that'll come down the pipeline here. So Expendables 2 and Expendables 3 to complete my Expendables collection. I know this next one is pretty divisive, but I'm interested in seeing it because it has an excellent cast. This is Ocean's 8. So I've never seen any of the Ocean's movies. Another one I would love to correct that at some point here. But yeah, Ocean's 8 is kind of a reboot of the series from what I understand it, and it is an all-female cast. And so yeah, you have Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett in here, Anne Hathaway. Like, this cast is ridiculous. Rihanna's in here, Helena Bonham Carter. Just an amazing cast here. So I'm sure this one is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. I loved the new Ghostbusters movie, so I'm hoping I will like this one just as much. Obviously, I compare them because they are both kind of reboots and female-led, whereas the originals were male-led, so that's kind of what ties them together in my head. But yeah, should be fun. Ocean's 8 from 2000, when? I just saw it a second ago. 2018. That's when it is. Ocean's 8 from 2018. Ever since I found this one, I've been trying to find the sequel for cheap, and I just haven't come across it yet, but this is Now You See Me, and this is a really good movie. Of course, it is like the Magician movie, but it's a crime thriller mixed in with magic, which I love magic because I'm a huge nerd like that, but I just love it. I think it's so much fun. And so yeah, this was a really good movie. I have seen this one. I've only seen it once, but it was really fun. So yeah, very excited to watch this one again, and then eventually grab the sequel whenever I can find that one cheap, because I definitely want to see what that one's all about. So Now You See Me, the magic movie that is definitely worth watching. This next one is a movie that I loved when I saw it in theaters, and then earlier this year I ended up reading the manga that it was based off of, which I thought was awesome, and so I had to grab it on Blu-ray, and I'll talk about why. So this is Live, Die, Repeat, are also known as Edge of Tomorrow, originally known as Edge of Tomorrow, and this is just an awesome sci-fi action movie where it's like Groundhog Day meets this war film. It's fantastic, but I actually have the steelbook of this already, but I bought this from Family Video when I worked there, and so it only came with the Blu-ray 3D disc, so I needed the original like 2D version to have this complete. So now I have that. I don't know, I think this one actually comes with the DVD as well. Yeah, it does. So this has the DVD and the Blu-ray. So if I can fit both of these into my steelbook, then I will definitely do that. But yeah, I just needed to complete this so that my steel was 100%. So yeah, very excited that I was able to do that for so cheap, because that was the goal with this one. So Edge of Tomorrow, an awesome sci-fi action movie that if you haven't seen, definitely check it out. Emily Blunt is fantastic in this, along with Tom Cruise. It's a genuinely awesome movie. Just so much fun. So Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat, able to complete my steelbook with this Blu-ray that I hauled. Here's another movie from my family video days that I've always wanted to see and I just never got around to it. Johnny Depp, Armie Hammer. This is The Lone Ranger. So this one just always looks so fun, but for whatever reason, I never popped it in to watch it. So I actually added this to my like cheap Blu-rays to find list maybe 2 or 3 months ago when I was thinking about it. And so I was able to do that and now it's in my collection. Very excited to check this one out. If you guys have seen this one, let me know. Is it any good or not? Or am I wasting my time? Because it is relatively lengthy. It's 150 minutes, so not super short. So let me know if it's worth my time or not. The Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer. So this is one that I found with the slipcover. Unfortunately, the slipcover is all stickered up and I can't really get them off. But this is Neighbors with Zac Efron and Seth Rogen in this, a bunch of other people as well. This is another one that I've wanted to see for so long. It just looks hilarious. I love these actors, so I'm sure I'm going to like this one. And now I have it in the collection. I can watch it and I'm very excited to do that. So yeah, Neighbors with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron, another one for the comedy section. Speaking of comedies, the last Blu-ray that I was able to find while on vacation is one of my favorites, and I know that might not be popular, but I love this movie so much. We were watching it, I think we went to like my mother-in-law's house recently, and it was just on TV, and I was just laughing my butt off. This is such a funny movie. This is The Heat, with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. I think they are so funny together. I understand the movie's not perfect by any stretch, but I laugh so hard at this. It's ridiculous. The Heat is kind of like Ride Along, another stupid comedy that I love so much. I just think of those in the similar vein. I feel like they came out around the same time and they both make me laugh just a stupid amount. So very happy that I was able to add The Heat to the collection. Basically, it is a buddy cop movie where they hate each other and are just trying to work together to take down this drug ring or this drug lord, whatever the case is. But yeah, I've seen this one a few times and it always holds up. It is just hilarious. So The Heat is the last movie I ended up grabbing on Blu-ray while I was on vacation. All right, so there it is. Everything that I picked up in this haul. It was so much fun. I cannot believe how many Blu-rays I ended up finding while on vacation, because around here, whenever I find a Blu-ray, it's like the holy grail. Like, it just never happens. And so whenever I do, I get super excited about it. But at that thrift store I went to, they had a ton of Blu-rays that were marked at a really good price. And so I was super excited to be able to find that many Blues for so cheap. But let me know down in the comments below, guys. Have you seen any of these? Are there any worth watching that I haven't seen yet? Let me know those recommendations down in the comments below. I always appreciate you guys leaving those comments. So thanks for that support. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a like down below. That really does help me out. And like I always say, I don't just talk one media source. I talk all things media, be it books, movies, video games, graphic novels. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. And I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.